drama, historical drama. But I'll come to that a little later. But first, I want to welcome our distinguished guests here. I want to acknowledge the presence of our Governor, Honorable Governor, who has been very, very kind in not only joining us today, but also hosting us in this lovely Bharatiya Hall. So thank you, sir, for being what you are, always been very, very, very kind to all dharmic and cultural activities in the state. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Mrs. Lakshmi Ravi. She has always been a great support, adding a charm and to bring cheer to all the activities that are being conducted in this lovely place. We have a very young man in Dr. Hande. He is being a minister, as you know, in Tamil Nadu government for health. But more important is the fact that he was the one who translated Kamba Ramayanam into English. So it is, we're going to get a new perspective of Rama and Tamilagam from Kamba Ramayanam, from the pages of Kamba Ramayanam. So thank you, sir, for what you are. We also have another distinguished person amongst us, Mr. S. Gurumurthy. Audience in Tamil Nadu, Madras does not require any introduction. I don't think it requires any introduction anywhere in India, anywhere in the world. Nevertheless, he is last few years known as the distinguished editor of the Tuklak magazine, and he has been a major force for all the good things that have been happening in this country at one level or the other. Thank you, sir. I also want to acknowledge the presence of our friend Kirlosh Kumar, Principal Secretary of the Governor of Tamil Nadu. He has been of great support to us. So thank you, sir, for being what you are. I also want to welcome our friends who have been standing there for tirelessly, both from digital media, print media, and television medium. So thank you all for your support, and all of you who have been so patiently here, from 9:30 onwards to be part of this function. D.K. Hari and Hema Hari are known to be only for 40 years, only 40 years. And I have seen their journey from being commercially oriented people and to transforming themselves as a serious scholars, researchers, and amazing people who dwell into the historical facts of India and actually making us all a proud Indian to start with, and then put it in a simple audiovisual format, multimedia format, to explain what they have researched and found out. So I think congratulations to them. And as I said, when we have the very first book on historical drama, there's one more activity that predates that. When there was a controversy on the Setu Samudram project in Tamil Nadu, Hema and Hari felt that it has to be corrected in some manner, and therefore they decided to do an important website called historicalrama.org, where they put all the facts together and said that Rama is a lord, a god, but also a historical human being born on a certain date, traveled to all these places, and all of that was been documented with lots of research and documentation. And that website, finally, I would say, was important instrument to change the course of our history. And who other than our own Sri Ravi Shankar, who helped us launch this website on November 14, 2007. I want to recollect that almost 2 decades ago, there are people who've been talking about drama being a historical figure, how Ram Setu is important in this state, how many temples we have celebrating Rama, and I think we owe a lot to the same couple, Hema and Harry. The exposition we will have about Rama in Tamil Nadu is going to be of interest to all of us. I'm also eager to learn the final aspects of all of that. So let me again end my brief remarks by welcoming each and every one of you to this meeting. Book release is incidental to me. What is more important to me is to learn from this young couple. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now request Dr. Hema Hari to explain about the Felicitation presents which will be presented to the Honorable Governor and the other dignitaries on the dais.
Actually, before we felicitate our Honorable Governor and other dignitaries, we wanted to do it in a manner that also relates to Rama and also relates to Tamilagam. So what we are going to be felicitating them with is first a garland made of pattu nool. Pattu nool because pattu, that is silk, and Rama's Koshala in Sanskritam, Kaushal is silk because Kosh means cocoon. So Rama from the land of Kausalya, a land of people with soft silk-like qualities. So that is one aspect that connects with Rama. So we wanted to felicitate them with pattu nool. Secondly, we also have a Ram Lalla Vigraha, which is being sculpted by our friend of Bharat Gyan from Mr. Mohan of Artistic. So that will be another gift for our dear Honorable Governor. The third aspect is, if you look at it, we will tie it up when we make our presentation. It is about Jatayu, Tamilagam and Panchavati. So we are happy to present Honorable Governor with 5 Vata Vriksha, which he may plant where he would wish, because it is apt that we also recreate a Panchavati in Tamilagam, not only have the memories of Rama. You will see why it is important. And at the same time, we will have a Shami tree being gifted to Lady Governor as well. Shami is very important, and I know for them the name also bears a lot of importance. But Shami is the tree whose rafters were used for building the hut in which they lived in Panchavati. So these are the 5 ficus plants that we are giving as part of Panchavati, and also the Shami tree with bamboo. Imagine they just lived with bamboo, a Shami roof, and some of the different varieties of darba and kans grass for their thatched roof. So this is what we would like, and we wanted to explain this before we do the felicitations.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Honorable
much.
Governor's daughter, Lady Governor's daughter is called Shamika, by the way.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. D.K. Sriram, Trustee Bharat Gyan, we request you to felicitate the Honorable Governor. With a shawl. The Pattanulu. The Panchavati will be gifted to the Honorable Governor by Aditya and Varun. They are twins. So the concept of Lavakusha is brought here, I believe. Ma'am, am I right? Thank you. Now to place in the Panchavati, we have Lord Rama himself coming, which will be gifted by Tirumohan, the Stabadi. Thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we now request Mrs. Devika Sriram to present a shawl, the pattanolu and the shami, the vannimaram to Lady Governor. Thank you, ma'am. We now request Dr. D.K. Sriram, Trustee Bharat Gyan, to felicitate Dr. H.V. Hande, former Minister for Health, Tamil Nadu. The Pattanul Mala, the silk garland, and a sapling. The sapling will be presented by the Lavakusha of the day, Aditya and Varun. So we are having Panchavati, Lavakusha, Lord Rama, Sitama, everything under one roof today. So Bharatiyar Mandapam is blessed. We request Dr. D.K. Sriram to felicitate Thiru S. Gurumurthy, editor Tughlaq magazine. Aditya and Varun will present the sapling to Thiru S. Gurumurthy. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Varun. Thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, the authors, Dr. D.K. Hari and Dr. D.K. Hema Hari, will now introduce about the book Sri Rama in Tamilagam, An Inseparable Bond.
Thank you so much, Honorable Governor sir, and dignitaries. Thank you so much for, first of all, giving us this inspiration to bring out this book, the methods, the process, and it was very kind of Honorable Governor to call us a couple of times to discuss and then bring this out so well on this momentous occasion, and to sort of give us the stage to present this briefly. So we'll do a quick 15-slide presentation on the subject. Before that, the first point is, on the momentous day of January 22nd, when at the event of when the Pran Pratishtha event was happening in Ayodhya, we had a wonderful puja here in Bharatiyar Mandapam, Raj Bhavan, Chennai, where Honorable Governor invited us, not only invited us for the event, but he asked us to make a presentation for 20 minutes on the subject of Rama and Tamilagam, a binding connect, which was a flip book available in our website, which has since evolved to becoming this full-fledged book, Sri Rama Tamilagam, an inseparable bond. So we would like to thank Honorable Governor for that occasion and their own leading to this. Thank you so much.
So in this book, so as the book evolved, what we could see was how Rama is intertwined in Tamilagam. There are three aspects to it. One, he has left his footprints on the geography of this land. The other, there are imprints about Rama through our poetry. And you will find blueprints of his life in our temples. And these are the three aspects that we would bring out. A lot of it we have actually covered during our talk earlier, which is also available on our YouTube. And so we'll be going, and most of you know about these aspects. So we will go through this very quickly. You will find footprints
all through Tamilagam as well.
So we find footprints of Rama all over Bharat, specifically here in Tamilagam. That's the beauty of it. Physical footprints of the person.
And as was said in the beginning, the Rama Setu, which is in Tamilagam, this Tamil Nadu, this marks the boundaries for Bharat itself. So the maps of Bharat and Survey of India use the slogans A Setu Himachalam. So it is from here to Himachal, which is the defining aspect of the land of Bharat.
This is the logo, the slogan of Geological Survey of India in 1767 till date. So 250 years, this is the slogan of India. So Setu Himachalam, look at it. With, there being with.
And this Setu, it was not just coined then. This Setu has been recognized as a protected monument from many millennia. Even during Mahabharata times, Rishi Markandeya tells the Pandava, this has been a protected monument from Rama's time. So we have all got to look after it. And then subsequently we have had the Setupati kings both on the Rameshwaram side, and you have had the Yarpana Arya Chakravarti kings on the Sri Lankan side. So both of them have been guarding, and they have minted coins that say Setu, Setupati.
Today we use the word Jaffna in Sri Lanka. Actually, the Tamil word is Yarpanam, and Yarpanam kings were Arya Chakravarti, the noble kings. So the Arya Chakravarti, and they minted coins being Setu Kavalan on the Lankan side. Whereas on the Bharata Varsha here, this side, what the kings were called again Setu Kavalan, that is Setupati. And look at this, in Mahabharata time itself, it is said that this bridge, Setu, is a protected monument of those days. So look at they have given that importance to this man-made structure for the last 5,000 plus years.
And you will find imprints in Tamil prose as well as poetry, starting all the way. You have Agastya Muni, who is the patron saint for Tamil itself, and he figures both in Ramayanam. He is the one who actually points the way to Panchavati to Rama, Sita, Lakshmana from Dandakaranya. And then you again find him back in the Agastya Malai, those set of episodes as well. So he is very intrinsic to the Ramayanam itself. And then Valmiki, while he authored Ramayanam, and without which we wouldn't even know about this same Valmiki, after finishing Ramayanam, authoring Ramayanam, he desires to come to this coast and walk the footprints that Rama has walked. And you find remembrances of this in the form of many temples in Tamilagam which have Valmiki Rishi, and he is also venerated in Tamil as Valmika Siddhar. So both aspects you find. Then you have the Tamil Marai, the Nalaira Divya Prabandham.
You have a Valmiki temple here in Tiruvanmiyur. The Valmiki temple is there, but only thing it's come in the median of the ECR now. So ECR starts from there. So the temple for Valmiki is very much here with us.
Then you have the Divya Prabandham, where you have many verses for Sri Rama, and especially those by Kulashekara Alvar in his Perumal Tirumozhi. He has got many decades for Rama. Then the most beautiful thing is, since there are so many on Rama, there is one, the Periyavachan Pillai, he sat and compiled all these Ramayana verses and called it Pasurapadi Ramayanam. So as per Alvar, what are all the Pasurams on Rama? Then of course I've put these kind of chronologically. Then we have Kamba Ramayanam, Rama Avataram as it was called, and Arunagiri Nadar also. He has actually composed on many divinities. While we know him for Tirumurugan, he has also composed many on Sri Rama. And then we have Ramanujar and Vedanta Deshigar also, who have eulogized Rama. So you find so many people from the Tamil land who have immortalized Rama through their prose and poetry. Then you also have people who have composed music. So starting, you have Arunachala Kaviraya, the Mangalam that was presented in the morning, in the earlier part of the function. In Tamil, he has composed a Mangalam which is very popular. It's sung in almost all weddings. Then we have Tyagarajar, you all know, who has been a Bhakta of Ramar. He has composed many songs. Muthuswami Dikshidhar has composed songs on Ramayana. Sadashiva Brahmendra. Many of the tukudas that we say in Carnatic Kacheris, many of them are from Sri Sadashiva Brahmendra. And Uthakade Venkataravi also has Venkatakavi also has also composed a lot of songs. So we have songs in Ramayana. Now, this is the beauty I think we should all celebrate. We have a veritable Ramayanam in the temples of Tamil Nadu. What we have done in the book is taking all those life history events, we have plotted a trail of Ramayanam. So these were all temples were built, and it's not just one particular king. You find them across the Chera, Chola, Pandya, all three of them have built temples. You have the Pallava who have built temples, Yoga Rama temples and all near Tiruvannamalai. Then you have Adiyaman who has built a temple around Erode, Salem, that area. Then you have the Nayak kings who have built. So every ruler of this land has built many temples for Rama. And prior to all of this, in the Kotar region also, you have the Ai kings who have preserved the memories of Rama. Of course, many of those temples are not there structurally, but the memories still remain.
At one point, look at this. The Chola kings, what do they call themselves? Ravi Kula Tilaka. So they clearly, so when you call a king, you give so many prefixes, right? What are the key prefixes that Ravi Kula Tilaka? Meaning, they are from the Ravi Kula, Surya Vamsa, very clear, the solar dynasty. That is the greatness here.
So, in this book, some of the key messages that we want the readers to take away is Tamilagam, Tamil Nadu itself. You walk through, it is a museum, it's a veritable museum in stone for Sri Rama, because you find every incident of the Ramayana depicted in one or the other temple, and fundamentally you find some of the themes which this land has, for I don't know what reason. See, Jatayu Moksham, which was staged here so beautifully by Mitra Shri, this happened in Panchavati. And the reason why we chose Panchavati as a theme is, in Rama, in the verse, he says, let us reside here with Jatayu. So Jatayu stayed with them, that's how he fought with Ravana when he kidnapped Sita. Now this Jatayu, the last rites were conducted on the banks of the Godavari, which is all there up north. But somehow down south in Tamil Nadu, you find so many temples which say this is for Jatayu. Sri Rama did Dahanam for Jatayu here. We are commemorating Jatayu Moksham here. So look at the number of temples where you have Jatayu Moksham. And you have Lepakshi here, and they are all in a nice beautiful route from Tirupukuri. You even have a temple for Sampati at Kodanagar. Our ancestry, we just learned traces to Kodanagar, and there it is a Sampati temple for Jatayu's brother. Then Tirupullarikkuvelur, which is actually Chidambaram. Then Tirupulambudangudi, Tyaga Samudram, Siragarinathar, all near Devakotai. And finally a Jatayu Tirtham at Argankulam also.
Devakotai is her mother's ancestry.
So like this, you have the Jatayu trail, and then you also have a trail about that celebrates Rama's archery skills. Valvil Ramar temples, many Valvil Ramar. Valvil means one who is skilled in archery. That is why you have Valvil Ori also, one of the kings. And these are, you will find, these were celebrated actually in Kamban through his poetry. In the Alvars, they have celebrated him as Yel Maram Yeindavane. So they are all around Therandur, which is Kamban's birthplace. And look at this is the Ramayana trail. Starting from his birth, you will find every incident or the other covered through all these various temples, the details of which we have written in the book. And so these are some of the important things, and we felt that this has to be celebrated. So far we have, when we came up, like he said, in 2007, the focus was on Rama. After that, the sites of Rama trail, they started becoming important all over India. So within India, this trail was established. Then we were asked to write a book on Ramayana trail in Lanka. So the Ramayana trail in Lanka became quite popular, and it's now a nice IRCTC tour.
Actually, when we wrote historical Ramayana, it became quite popular, accepted people. The Sri Lankan government came to us and they asked us, you have proved Rama to be historical, can you prove Ravana to be historical? He said, if the protagonist is historical, the antagonist also got to be. So they invited us. We spent a lot of time in Lanka, traveling in Sri Lankan official vehicles, going in the ups and downs and hills. At the time, my new entity, Velipalli Prabhakar, was active. So we were Tamilians sitting in a Sri Lankan vehicle going around the hills. Like sitting next, we went around, did research and got and then we brought out a book called Ramayana in Lanka. which later became the Ramayana trained in Lanka for the Sri Lankan government. So that was the source. Of course, many people have written since then.
So our prayer is that, sir, with this book, I think we should make a Ramayana museum tour in Tamil Nadu of all those temples and a thematic tour starting from his birth. So many places celebrating his Putra Kameshti Yajnam, where all, many people think that, and they dismiss it saying, you know, how could Putra Kameshti, this temple, therefore it's all not right. But what we have to remember is these are temples that are commemorating these events. And that means the attachment and the memory that these people of this land have had for so many millennia to keep calling Tirupallani as a place where Putra Kameshti Yajnam happened, or Arani where there is a Putra Kameshti Ishwarar. So this is how we have celebrated, and we have to remember that it is this art and culture, poetry, music, dance, these are what have kept memories of Ramar alive for so many millennia. So that is what we have to highlight, and Tamil Nadu is so rich in all this, and we hope to see this museum fructifying as well.
Proper program so that it gets recognized and gets used.
So with that, we would like you all to enjoy this book. And
see, this you see a patriotism in Rama very clearly. He says you can be anywhere, but it is your duty to your mother and motherland. And the idea of patriotism which you're talking about in Bharat goes back 7,000 years. A very clear idea of patriotism. We see this very clearly here. So that's one thing I wanted to say, because today, when you speak about patriotism, it all emanates from there on and beyond. And we celebrate Rama over 7 millennia now in this land. The key factor is there have been many kings who have won battles. There are many kings who have lost battles. Many great kings. This land, Bharat, has been endowed with hundreds and thousands of kings. But why do we eulogize Rama? Why do we recognize Rama repeatedly across millennia, across the land? It's because of the guna, the qualities. And what are these? The 16 qualities that Rama exemplified in his life by his personality, by his acts, by his deeds. That is what holds him good, not just in Bharat, but whole of Southeast Asia. So that's a factor. So we should recognize the guna, and each of us can live some of these guna in our lives. Then that is the true appreciation for the divinity Rama that we can bring forth. And here, all of us know this shloka.
So Ramaya, Ramabhadraya, Ramachandraya Vedase, Raghunathaya, Nathaya, Sitapataye Namaha. So, in this slokam, you will find how each person who was living during Rama's times has addressed him, and we have explained all this in the book. So, we hope you enjoy this book, and we thank Honorable Governor for giving us this opportunity and the platform to share all this knowledge that we have enjoyed compiling with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Namaskar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. We now humbly request the Honorable Governor to release the book, Rama, Sri Rama in Tamilagam, An Inseparable Bond, and the copies will be received by Dr. H.V. Hande, former Minister for Health, Tamil Nadu, and Thiru S. Gurumurthy, Editor, Tughlaq Magazine. And the book is being published in 3 languages, in Tamil, English and Hindi. The book, Sri Rama in Tamilagam, written in 3 languages, Tamil, English and Hindi, will now be presented to the other dignitaries on the dais, and a photograph will be taken. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. We now humbly request Thiru S. Gurumurthy, Editor, Tughlaq Magazine, to deliver the keynote address.
Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Sri R.N. Ravi, who I know for quite some time. We had interacted in Delhi over issues of common interest. When he became the Governor of Tamil Nadu, I was one of the happiest persons because his philosophy and vision were very much needed for Tamil Nadu. And that has flowered in the polity and discourse of Tamil Nadu, and you can see the change in the Raj Bhavan since then. Such a function in Raj Bhavan would have been unthinkable had Mr. Ravi not been the Governor of Tamil Nadu. So thank you very much, sir, for changing the ecosystem of Tamil Nadu. And I am extremely happy that I participate in this function. Hari and Hema Hari have been a product of the Indian civilization's rise in the last quarter century. And they have come up with extremely critical work at very critical points in time, as Srinivasan Swami explained. And I have been one of the beneficiaries of their study. And as they were unveiling this work, I felt that I have much to learn from what you people have done. And I am extremely happy again to share platform with Dr. H.V. Hande, who translated the Kambaramayanam into English. You see, these are all the people who have built the intellectual resistance of Tamil Nadu against the distortions that have been taking place for over a century. And as we think of Rama as an inseparable part of Tamil Nadu, my memory goes back to the days when the Ram Janmabhoomi movement evolved in India. I was part of the movement. I was present when the movement was seeded. We never realized the power of Rama till we actually began chanting his name in the public domain, away from temples, away from homes. When Rama's name came into the streets of India, the country changed monumentally. In fact, there was a time when the concept of Ramarajya was regarded as communal in this country. Vande Mataram was detested. Those symbols which built the freedom movement of India, the spirit of India, the very idea of India, and generated the freedom movement in the most peaceful manner, unheard of in the history of the world. Those values, those symbolisms, including Ramarajya, had been banned in the polity and discourse of the country till the Ram Janmabhoomi movement arrived on the scene. As one of the persons who had been brought up in the normal traditional, the normal secular way of education and in business and in other areas including journalism, for me it was a revelation that how Rama represented the philosophy of India. He gave the way of life of India. He defined the geography of India. He united India. He physically united India. And there is Rama everywhere. In fact, I had a discussion with the Honorable Governor about the communities and their roots. And one of the communities about which I discussed him was the Kallar community, who had a great role to play in the freedom movement of India, which they did not know. In 1755, they recovered the idols of Tirumugur temple which were being looted by the British. Because the pujaris went and requested them, because they were the only armed people at that time. They went and requested them that please recover our idols for us. And they went and ravaged the British, and 5,000 colors died in the battle. This remained oral history till the colour community participated in the Hindu fair which we had conducted, through which they came to know that they have to do some research about themselves, and the entire written history was found in the archives of the British. This war took place in 1755 in a place called Nattam Kanavai. And I requested the Honorable Governor, because the Tamil Nadu government did not allow that function to take place on the spot, symbolically that function was held here. And why I am mentioning this is that there is a place called the place where the Kallar and the Devendra Kulavelalar community fought. And in that temple, there has to be a car festival which has been stopped for the last 27, 28 years because of the struggle between the two. It is in that place there is a story of Jatayu, one of the wings of Jatayu falling. And when they began to uncover this, they found the commonality and they began working on their source, and the Kallar committee found that they had originally come from Ujjain, and that is explained in a place where they reside called Unjan Vilai, and the Unjama Devi Kali temple is here, which is the same as the Kali temple in Ujjain. And they found themselves completely linked. That is how in India people move from one end of the country to the other, because there was a common way of life. And the common way of life had common habits, common philosophy, and that is what Rama represented. And you see, the Ram Janmabhoomi movement completely changed the discourse in India, the direction of India, the polity of India, the way we look at ourselves. Rama redefined India. It is unfortunate in Tamil Nadu, for the last 100, 150 years, because of the conspiracy hatched by the British, a different mentality had been engineered and injected into our psyche. That's what we are fighting. This is a warfare. This warfare is not going to take place only in ballots. It has to take place through huge intellectual movement, cultural movement, and work like this will add to the sinews of that movement, and all of us will have to participate in this movement, because India is not a country which is just a geography. It is not a country which is just politics. India existed long before any other country existed, because the word Rashtra is found in the Vedas. And if you look at all the Puranas, they define the borders. They not only define the borders, they say those who reside in this place are called Bharatiyas, and they believe in karma and rebirth. So you can understand that there was a way of life, the geography. Nowhere in the world, no country has been defined till the 17th and 18th, till the 18th and 19th centuries. Most of the nations which we call as nations in Europe, nation states in Europe, did not exist. Hobsbawm, one of the greatest historians, says the idea of nation never existed in Europe. It is the states that created the nations. Arun Shourie went to the extent of saying that it is marriages and concubinages which created states and nations in Europe. But we were nations from time immemorial, and Rama defined the geography of India, and that is why the integral part of is geographical movement is the culmination, what Hari and Hema explained. I am happy that the Honorable Governor has hosted this. It's a very important event in taking this message of Rama as an integrating factor of Tamil Nadu with the rest of India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We now welcome Dr. H.V. Hande, former Minister for Health, Tamil Nadu, to deliver the keynote address.
We have several distinguished persons here, both on the days and off the days. We are blessed with the presence of one of the most illustrious sons of India, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, His Excellency Mr. R.N. Ravi, and Madam who has graced the function. We have Mr. Krishna Swami, and most importantly, I am very proud today that I am associated with our illustrious Gurumurthy, because though I am probably 25 years elder to him, I am one of his fans. I call him as the Vasishtha of contemporary Indian politics. And we are blessed with the author's father here. I and he is about 4 or 5 years younger to me. We were interacting when they were conducting the Hindu Mission Hospital in Tambaram. And then we have our, I call him as the banyan tree of Madras city. Our Nalli Kuppaswamiji is here. I always respect him. There is a young lady here, Sheila Lutz, who has sacrificed, who said, I don't want to marry because I want to do service to people. Like that, there are so many people in this great, among this distinguished audience. Now, about the book, it's a superb book. In fact, secretly, I tried to get a copy of it from the author, distinguished Dr. Hema, Hari and Hari. All of you must congratulate them for bringing this Sri Rama in Tamil Nadu. It's an excellent book. It concisely, in about 200 pages, am I right, brings out several facets of Sri Rama, several facets. I would advise every one of you, please purchase the book, read it, enrich yourself. It's absolutely necessary. In page 51, especially in that book, in page 51, the Setu is explained, am I right? And when I thought of that, I read the whole thing. Then I remembered my the Kambaramayam I wrote, I translated into English and published by Bharati Vidya Bhavan and released. He had also come about 20-25 years ago by the then President Dr. Sharma, Shankar Dayal Sharma, and the previous President, who was my colleague, R. Venkatraman, received the copy. And then C. Subramaniam, who was the head of the Bharati Vidya Bhavan, conducted. In that particular book, Kambar, I go to Kambar, with that I finish. There is two Shayul. Shayul means 4 lines, Tamil Slokam, because Sanskrit we call it as Slokam, Tamil Shayul. Rama is that Pushpaka Vimanam, after the war, everything is over. Sri Rama and Sita, they are traveling in that Pushpaka Vimanam. Then Rama points out to Sita, this is where what happened, this is where what happened, this is where I discovered the Hanuman, this is where I had my last contact with Jata. All these things he describes. Kamban makes it very interesting. At one particular point, he very economy of words, only two slokas. He says, this is Setu built by Vanaras. And this book explains how the Setu was some thousands of years ago. And he has given photos of how the Setu was steadily being erased. He has given photos. Hats off to you. Now, last but not least, why did I say our governor is a distinguished son of India? All that you have to do only is one simple thing. Please take his book. Read the foreword of our Excellency. I beg of you. I beg. See, I am supposed to be a great writer. This is a compliment from a 97-year-old man. Just one and a 3/4 page. Forward. The first sentence itself, I had lost it. I was searching for it. I had written it. Super. The forward is super. So, with his permission, so I have planned something. I am planning to have the forward. It will not cost me much. Copies of that on my table. Every day, patients come, several people come even to see me even now. I have planned to give one copy of this foreword of our Excellency to everyone who comes. They can read it in 5 minutes. Beautiful language, excellent language. It shows his erudition at this young age, his erudition and his complete grasp of Sri Rama and his grasp of the book. So, with these words, I commend this book to all of you, and I call them fortunate because our Excellency agreed to release the book. That is their good fortune. And also I hope he will permit me, as I am taking my seat, to give him a copy of the Kambaramanam I had written. I wanted, whenever he has time, to go through it. I know he's a busy person, but still, let me give myself the privilege of giving that book to him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the supporters who helped in the production of the book and the cultural artists will now take a group photograph with the Honorable Governor. We welcome Professor K. Srinivasan, retired principal, Vivekananda College Sanskrit Scholar, Tirumati Aruna Prabha Ranganathan, Carnatic musician, Thiru S. Ranganathan, rare publication, Thiru B. R. Mahadevan, writer for Tamil translation, Thiru Vijay Raghavan, Rajasthan Patrika for Hindi translation, Thiru Vishnu, Thiru Hariharan and Thiru Raji for the book layout, Thiru Jaika, graphic designer Bharat Gyan, will now take a group photograph. And Hema Hari in the publication and in the production of the book. We also have the cultural team along. Let me just recall their names for you. Selvi Mitra Shri, Bharatanatyam dancer, Guru Gurumurthy Maitreyi, singer Selvi Arya Nagarajan, Selvi Arvind Balaji, Selvi Nandita Kannan, Selvi Madhuvanti, Vijay Ganesh, Selvi Sumedha Vijay Ganesh, Tirumati Shruti Bhatt, Selvan Vikrant Ram, Ensemble Coordinator, Thiru S.L. Narasimhan, all are present and are taking a group photograph along with the Honorable Governor and the other dignitaries on the dais. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we now humbly request the Honorable Governor to address the gathering.
Jai Shri Ram. Most respected Dr. H.V. Hande, it is my fortune to see him so closely today. I have heard about him, I have read something very good about him, but his spirit, his lucidity, and his intellectual sharpness, have become a great fan of yourself. Thiru S. Gurumurthy, of course, we all know him, not only here, but perhaps all over the country. Dr. D.K. Hari and Dr. D.K. Hema Hari, who have authored this book, not only this, but many, many books, and they have dedicated their life for our country, for discovering and making it intelligible, easy read for younger generations, all our civilizational heritage. Thiru Srinivasan K. Swami of Trustee Bharat Gyan, Dr. D.K. Sriram, Trustee Bharat Gyan, all the dignitaries, friends. At the very outset, I like to thank D.K. Hari and Hema Hari for this wonderful work. In fact, I was fortunate to be associated. Maybe I was the medium, because we all believe that, at least I believe that this book, though written by D.K. Hari and Hema Hari, is a Sri Ramar wish. Nothing happens without his wish. It so happened that when the country was all getting Ramamaya, when this Pran Pratishtha date was already announced, preparations were going on, and all over the country, people were just immersed in Sri Rama. At that point of time, as it happens often in this beautiful land, a narrative started building up. Sri Rama is not, Rama is a North Indian god. He is not here. People in Tamil Nadu don't know Rama. Though we know that Sri Rama is everywhere, there is hardly a place in Tamil Nadu where we don't have his footprints. And he lives in the heart and mind of every person, not only all the Indians, including people from Tamil Nadu. At that point of time, I called D.K. Hari and said, as I always, even in the past, I have backed upon him. I said, look, this is all narrative going on the social media. Our young people have been deprived of actually our cultural heritage, our spiritual heritage. It's a kind of a fabricated social engineering has been going on to create a different identity by doing a cultural genocide. If I put the word, which is not too strong, but this is a reality, that they try to eliminate all that and try to create as if we have nothing to do with the rest of the country and the past is to be erased. So at that point of time, I said, look, can you give us some material? He says, yes, promptly. And while the final book is being released, an elementary version of it, he produced it before Pran Pratishtha, within a short time. That was a remarkable job that they did. But, here, for the last 3 years that I am here in this beautiful state, I won't like to call it a wave, but 3 sets of events which I recall. One was when Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 film was released, and the Cholas were being talked about as a common discourse. A narrative built of Shiva is not an Indian god. Shiva is our god, because they say Chola we worship Shiva. It happened in September 2022 that the film was released, and within a short time, Kashi Tamil Sangamam happened. And we found such a large number of people who applied online to visit. It became so difficult for those who were managing it. They had difficult time apologizing people, sorry, we cannot accommodate you during this time. It was not possible. So many, overwhelming number of people, they wanted to visit. Because we know that Shiva and Kashi, again, we know that is principal abode of Shiva. And Kashi is all over our Tamil Nadu. I don't have to narrate it. At that point of time, I had approached D.K. Hari and Hema Hari, and they produced a wonderful book of a similar size on Kashi Tamil Sangamam, on that Kashi Tamil Connect. And that book became a hit. First we thought that we will be giving people, passengers, we will be giving them so that on the traveling they would be able to read. But demands have started pouring up more and more. Second was when this happened, when Sri Ram Pran Pratishtha was to be done. Again, Rama is not our god, Rama is the god of North Indians. At that point again, D.K. Hari and Hema Hari got together and brought material. Of course, the third one on which he has not yet produced, but he has produced in many ways, many other works, is people have started attacking straightway Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan, scientists, Sanatan. Sanatan is like virus, Sanatan is like dengue, malaria, and all those things have started. But something happened and suddenly they became quiet. no more talk about anti-Sanatana. So, with Kashi Tamil Sangamam, Kashi, people know. In fact, it so happened that after such overwhelming response of the people who visited Kashi and came back, here also people decided, took a decision that we will also send certain number of people every year to Kashi. So, one after another, after Asher, the Shiva, Rama, Sanatan, all these things, by and large things are falling around and reality is emerging. You know, Sri Rama, you know, if you travel over the country, not necessarily by flight, but you travel and spend time with the people, there is not an inch of this country where Sri Rama is not present. And I say it because I have felt it, I have heard it, I have seen it. Remote corners of northeast tribes, they tell the story of Sri Rama. Go to the people in the Himalayas, of course, they have right from Kashmir to Arunachal all around. They will tell you a story of Sri Rama. Everywhere. Kanyakumari to Kashmir, Kutch to Kamru, every place. He is one who is present all over. And even while in the most of the northern part of our country, when during invasions before, all the temples were destroyed and all, they could not remove Sri Rama from the heart and mind of the people because Sri Rama did not live in temple. Sri Rama lived in the heart of the people. In my village, where I was born and brought up, a remote village. I come from farming community, so people, after the day's hard work, they would come in the evening. They will all assemble after their dinner with their old dhol and all these musical instruments, and they will sing Ranga. Feel refreshed, go home, sleep, next day again. They got energized. Usually, when you say that after the day's long work, people feel exhausted, people like to fall flat. No. People in the villages, hard-working farmers, after the day-long work, they used to get energy by singing Ram Katha, Ramayana. If you remove Sri Rama, which is of course not possible, there is no Bharat, there is no country. Because he is the glue that binds the whole country. It is impossible. You may demolish a temple. You may try to build a narrative, but you cannot, no one can remove Sri Rama from the heart of the people, our every Bharatiya. Irrespective of the language, irrespective of region, irrespective of cuisine or custom. When I heard the story of Sri Rama among the remote tribes of Northeast India, in fact, that was for me an eye-opener. That was almost about 3.5 decades back when I visited that area. Everyone said that they are different people, they are, ethnically they look different, they speak different language, their food habits are different. Actually, we did not go close to them. When I started visiting and staying with them in their houses, and in the night after dinner, the village headman will tell the story as the used to be the system all over the country. Their grandmother used to tell the story, which of course is just fading away, because today many of the grandmothers, they themselves don't know the story. So when they started telling the story about Ramayana, how I could see that there were minor variations in the sense that they did it according to their own bhava, according to their own understanding, but it was so much there. Every place they had, this is where Sri Rama came, this is where Sri Rama did, this is where Sri Rama, all over the country. And Tamil Nadu is no exception at all. For long, and in fact, if you look at our national freedom movement, Sri Gurumurthy ji mentioned about it. The national, Mahatma Gandhi, what did he choose to unite the whole country, bring them together? He chose only that glue that had kept the country together for thousands of years. When he started saying Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram became his daily prayer. When all these people, those who were his followers, they came and started saying the prayer every day in praise of Sri Rama. So, and the imagination was that if the British go, we will have Rama Rajya. And that is why the Rama Rajya concept even was brought in our constitution. When the constitution was drafted, and when the draft was put before the Constituent Assembly, about 32 to 33 speakers spoke. 29 of them, they rejected the constitution, which is not acceptable. Because it says that it only talks about union and state, distribution of power, distribution of assets, adjudication of conflict, and fundamental rights and all. Where is Bharat in it? Where is Bharat? It is space neutral. And by the way, in the original constitution, there was no word called secularism, because it was debated. One member, nobody even thought of mentioning it. But one member wanted to he raised the point, do we need to? And then the entire house said that no, because secularism is an European concept born out of conflict, the fight between the church and the state. It is born out of the hostility between the ruler of the state and the church. And so they had to be separated. Bharat has been a dharmic country all through the ages. Minus dharma, Bharat cannot exist. The very idea of Bharat does not exist minus dharma. And since Sanatana Dharma talks about all-inclusive, even if you don't believe in it, even Gnostics are there. They are also part of Sanatana. Not necessarily Astic. Nirakari, Sakari, those who are Nirgun, I don't want, without form, formless, with form, all variations are there, believer, non-believer, everyone is included. Because there is no concept of other. This is the only dharma which does not recognize a concept of other. And this, establishing the Rama Rajya, it was the constitution when it was not accepted. Then at that point of time, it was said, look, time is short. We cannot keep, what do we do now, how to? And then Nandalal Bose, the famous artist of Shantiniketan and others were commissioned, his team, and they started bringing out the civilizational evolution of Bharat and brought it in the constitution. And one of the first, in fact the citizenship chapter of constitution, it begins with a painting of Gurukula, Vedic Gurukula, where the Rishi is teaching, students are learning, cows grazing. This is how. The part of fundamental right, Rama came, because they find Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, they have been brought coming from Sri Lanka for establishing Rama Rajya. And the idea was that now we are going to establish Ramarajya. So Sri Rama was brought in the constitution through the painting. So this country cannot be, Bharat cannot be conceived of minus Sri Rama. It is not possible. Now, over the time period, unfortunately after independence, we lost direction and we ignored our inherent strength. Inherent strength of Bharat is our cultural spirituality, our dharma and dharmic view of life, which is all inclusive, not only humans but inclusive plants, animals, everyone. This comprehensive outlook on life that created this beautiful country, Bharat. People, they try to weaken that. Now, we talked about Setu. We know Rameshwaram is there. Rameshwaram, we all know that Rameshwaram for thousands of years did not belong to Setupati or did not belong to the king of Ramnathpuram. It belonged to all the Bharatiyas from all over the country. Wherever they were, they had a right to go there. Nobody could say them no, because they thought it was ours. It is not of a local. Similar is the case with all the tirthas. All the tirthas are essentially were the watering holes. They were the institutions which nourished. They nourished the very basic, the core concept of the dharma, that we are all family, kutumbam, parivar. This concept of family, now you see, some people have started talking about what is India. Some Indians are like Chinese, some are like Africans, some are Arabic. Now people, this is either by design or by default, they all try to deny and in the process weaken the very glue that keeps us together. But they don't realize that for no other reason, not for nothing that it is called Sanatan. It is eternal. It cannot be destroyed. Now the question is today, not that it is, we should just be happy about its indestructibility. No, it will be. It is indestructible. It will remain. It has remained for even 1,000 years when it was, the country was enslaved. But now the time that it had, there has to be resurgence. That gives you the energy. Our country has to progress. Our country cannot be left behind. Unfortunately, for long it has been pulled down. At the time the British left, our economy was the 6th largest. By the time 2014, the new regime came in Delhi, in center, we dipped down to 11th. We kept becoming poorer, disorganized. Everyone is fighting and fighting for oneself. Separatist movement, all these centrifugal forces became very active. The centrifugal forces became active primarily because what held it together and what holds us together, we try to weaken the very source, the force that kept us together. The force that keeps the whole country together is Sri Rama, and he cannot be. I thank once again D.K. Hari and Hema Hari for this wonderful work, and I'm sure they will continue doing, they will continue serving the nation, serving our country the way they have been doing. This kind of works cannot come out of sheer a sense of just, as a task given. It's for them. We know that for them it's a passion. And unless you have passion, things don't actually get delivered the way you want. I'm sure now that we have a task before us, the nation has a task before us, that now we have to be a fully developed, prosperous, materially strong, spiritually strong, culturally resurgent, because only then we'll be able to do the duty which has been cast on us. And what is the duty? Sri Rama didn't come only for Bharat. And subsequent, the rishis, all the great icons, those who came, their whole idea was for the whole world has to be saved. And Bharat has a duty to save the world, to help the world, to pull the world out of a crisis. Because we have crises all over. Not only war between the countries, war with the environment, war with poverty, all kinds of. Here, for the sake of the world, we have to have a very strong Bharat. Samarth and Sabal Bharat. And this strength, Samarth Bharat, for the sake of the whole world, is possible only when we have the positive energy among our people. We start looking at each other as family members, and we start doing our best with a sense of divine obligation with Rishi Aurobindo on 15th of August 1947, when he said that the time has come for Bharat to discharge its divine obligation. Because this knowledge that we are all one family, this came only in Bharat, nowhere else. It was not a coincidence, it was not by way of accident, but it was divinely designed. And so it is our duty to spread the light of universal brotherhood. But for that we have to be strong. And strong in all aspects. And so far as the values are concerned, nothing, there cannot be anything, any substitute to Rama and Ramarajya. So, we have a task ahead. We have a task ahead to carry not only the story of Sri Rama, but the spirit of Sri Rama, and move forward. Rajbhavan feels happy and blessed to be part of this event, and we will continue in our endeavor to encouraging such exercises or such events in future also. So, thank you very much. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Ram.
Thank you, sir. We now request Dr. D.K. Hari, Bharat Gyan, to propose the word of thanks.
Normally, I just speak extempore, but vote of thanks, I wanted to make sure that I do not miss out on anybody. So, which is why I'm going to be reading it out. And so, first and foremost, on behalf of Bharat Gyan, we would like to thank Honorable Governor R.N. Raviji for offering us this hallowed space in Raj Bhavan for this function today, and for gracing us with this presence, for releasing this book, for his foreword, and for enlightening all of us with his erudite speech, chief guest address. And he has been encouraging us all the while over the last few years, and giving us opportunities to bring out these kind of connections, especially from the Tamil Nadu, Tamilagam focus. And we've been steered by his boundless energies and suggestions every time we have brought out these works. Thank you very much, sir. And next, we would like to thank Lady Governor for gracing this function, accepting our request to attend today, and also come in the theme color as well. Thank you very much, Madam. She's always been supportive for many of our talks. She has attended all of them and given us words of encouragement. Thank you. And finally, I'm sure all of us have been amazed by
Dr. Hande, please, everyone's memory, stories of connecting incidents and the words that he has chosen. No wonder it is people like him who could really do justice to translate Kamba-Ramayanam into English as well. And we are really honored, sir, that you accepted our first copy and also gave us your blessing and even remembered page 51 to quote all of that. And I don't remember what is page 51. Thank you very much, sir. We would like to thank Sri Gurumurthy for accepting to grace this occasion and be a part of accepting the copy and also give us this wonderful speech. He has been a family friend for a long time and on and off we have had many sessions where he has encouraged us with ideas and how to go forward. So thank you very much, sir. And we would like to thank Sri Kilosh Kumarji and the whole team at Raj Bhavan for helping us and making this function such a great success, because we've been troubling them saying, we want to give this tree, we want to do this thing, we want to do that, and we want to make a presentation before the felicitation to explain felicitation. I don't think they've been bugged like this with so many requests. Thank you, Prasanna Ma'am and the entire team here for supporting and making this a function that all of us can remember. And thank you to all of you in the audience for taking this time out to come all the way here, spend these few hours with us. I couldn't meet many of you in person, but thank you so much for coming and gracing this function and giving us the encouragement. We would like to thank all of you from the media who have come to cover this. Thank you very much. You've been supportive. You have always carried our messages through all these 25 years as well. Thank you very much for your continued support. And the security at Raj Bhavan, right from the entrance, the meticulousness with which they have gone through this list, we have given them a manner where we have people accompanying guests and so on, patiently going through and ensuring the security of all the people who are here today. Then our heartfelt gratitude for this team of young singers. Each one had concerts, exams and so on, but they made it a point to get together, practice and come and perform for you, especially on the theme of Ramayanam. And of course for this beautiful Jatayu dance by Mitrashri, very ably choreographed and coached by her mother, Maitriji, and Master of Ceremony, Tirumati Prasanna Ayagar, for making sure this program goes beautifully. And I would like to thank and acknowledge the support of friends of Bharat Gyan like Sri Mohanji as well for helping us with this whole event. And also for carrying on this compilation with people like KS, Chitra, Meg and all, who are all part of our kind of a think tank where we keep tossing ideas between each of us and take it along. So thank you very much for helping us out in this journey. So like I said, the list is endless, so which is why all our books, in our acknowledgement, we make it a point to write just these 2 lines from Sri Tyagaraja's Kriti, Entaro Mahanubhavudu, Entaro Mahanubhavudu, Antariki Vandana Murmu, Entaro Mahanubhavudu. So many great souls. If today we are talking about Rama, it is only because over these so many millennia there have been so many great souls who have been talking about him and passed on that knowledge to him. And I hope we all can pass it on to the next generation forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries, we request you to rise up for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे We request all of you to join us for the sergeant and Bharatiya Mandal.